Meeting is reconvened. Next portion of our meeting is our formal speech section, and we have two speakers tonight. Our first speaker joined our club earlier this year. Our second speaker has been a member of Toastmasters since 1987. I think you will enjoy what each one of them has to say. First up, our speaker tonight joined Vapor Trails to improve his listening skills, improve his speaking skills, and to do a little networking. Tonight he is giving his third speech from the basic manual. The topic is to get to the point, and his objectives are to select a topic and determine its purpose, organize his speech in order to achieve that purpose, ensure that his beginning, body, and conclusion reinforce the purpose, and to project sincerity. Presenting Remember the Ice. Please help me welcome Jerry.
Thank you. There is power in the clarity of your articulation. My general purpose tonight is to just suggest to you to be very careful of your word choices. Piebald, for instance, may not be appropriate in every situation. Specifically, I'm going to introduce to you a book that I think you'll truly enjoy, and I'm going to suggest that you remove from your active vocabulary 7 words. The book is called Remember the Ice. It's written by a linguist named Bob Nicole, a very brilliant man. My favorite quote out of that book is, "There is power in the clarity of your articulation." Isn't that beautiful? The book talks about empowering speech versus disempowering speech, and it makes a list of words that we should really want to avoid. There's 7 of them. And the reason, there's actually more, but he lists 7 as the first start. And the reason we want to avoid them is because they muddle the message. And those words are not, don't, won't, wouldn't, can't, shouldn't, and one other one that's so insignificant I won't mention. Let's talk a minute about empowering versus disempowering. Anybody ever here have a boss for a jerk? Aha! 2, 3, 4. Good. This is the guy who comes down the hall and says something to you like, "Paul, are you ever on time? Why are you always late?" When the fact of the matter is, Paul is on time every day for 7.5 years. Today, he gets an offender bender and he's 30 minutes late. It happens to be the one day of the year that his boss actually shows up on time and wants something from him. What happened? Well, did those words fall on the deaf ears of somebody with perfect hearing? Did it start a little internal rebellion within you? It may have. And does the boss even know what happened? Probably not. Wouldn't it have been much better if he'd have come down the hall and said, "Paul, I'm glad to see you. I know you're always here on time, but today you're not. Was there a problem? Is something wrong? Can I help?" You know, I'll tell you a story. I actually saw a woman attack a 4-year-old child by saying, "Can't you do anything right? Why are you so stupid?" Bad. The thing of it was, the 4-year-old child was in her first attempt to put together a puzzle for 10-year-olds, and she was getting frustrated. Wouldn't it have been lovely if the woman would have said, "Gee, I'm proud of you for trying the big kid stuff. It looks pretty complicated. Would you like a little help?" Would have just been better. Please, be careful of the words you use, especially if you're angry and frustrated. Try to avoid those all-inclusive words like never and always. They're usually talk about these 7 words that Bob Nicole calls naughty words. And he calls them naughty because what they do is they notch your communication up and make it just almost intelligible. Those words, not, don't, won't, wouldn't, can't, couldn't, and shouldn't, he says we should just get rid of. And if we do, we'll add clarity to our own articulation, and we'll be better off with it. A great example, now I can't talk about these many words in 7 minutes, so we're just going to use the word don't. The best example of this is the title of his book, Remember the Ice. It comes from this story. Bob lived in Phoenix, Arizona. It's in the summer, it's 110 degrees. He goes in a convenience store and he notices a sign by the cash register that says, "Don't forget the ice." He walks in and asks the guy, he says, "How's the sale of ice?" And the guy says, "I don't understand it. It's 110 degrees outside. Nobody's buying ice. Something's wrong." To which Mr. Nicole says, "Can I make a suggestion?" And the guy's like, "Yes, anything. What can you do?" So he takes the sign, turns it over, puts "Remember the Ice," and walks out. Comes back 3 weeks later and says, "By the way, how's the sale of ice?" It's wonderful. It's up. Everybody's buying ice. It's the simple difference between don't forget and remember. I'll give you another example. Have you ever said to a child, "Don't spill your milk"? I made that mistake with my grandson. You know what happened less than a minute later, don't you? Milk all over the table, all over the floor. I'd have been so much better off if I'd have just said, "Andy, your milk glass is really close to the edge of the table. Please be careful." He wouldn't have spilled it. He wouldn't have spilled it. Let's try a little test. Everybody close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Relax. Clear your mind. Now, don't think about an elephant standing in a strawberry patch. Open your eyes. What happened?
Strawberry jam.
So, my question there is, did your strawberry have red toenails too? In conclusion, be careful of the words you choose and how you use them. They can do more damage than good. And if you want to read a good book, Bob Nicole's Remember the Ice is really, really a very interesting read. And a way that I can improve my articulation, and perhaps you can improve yours, is just get rid of those 7 naughty words. It's a lot to do at one time. So pick one and start with it. I believe I will choose don't. Madam Toastmaster?
Thank you for that inspiring speech, Jerry. Everyone take a few moments to write some comments for Jerry. I'm sure he'll appreciate that.